This is the Above Average Podcast, and you are listening because you want an above average life. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Above Average Podcast, the podcast where we talk to above average people about their above average lives. Now, my guest today is a musician, producer, songwriter, illustrator, and self-described one-man army from Gateshead. Inspired by everyone from Slash to Roald Dahl, he spent 4 years creating his debut album, Trauma, a sprawling concept record built from deep personal experiences. He writes, performs, produces, mixes, and masters his own work, approaching music with the same obsessive independence that would make even the artist formerly known as Prince very proud. Whoa. He's here today to tell his story, share his thoughts on identity and personal brand, give his take on the music scene, inspire independent artists, and prove that hustle, graft, blood, sweat, and tears can produce something truly spectacular. So please welcome Timmy to the show. How are you doing, Timmy?
Yes. Oh my god, what an introduction, man. Jeez, what am I supposed to say after that?
You're making me laugh through the
I
whole
like
thing.
Adam because he's got a bald head. It's like, what?
We've already talked this morning about tattooing my bald head anyway.
Hell yeah, man. What an introduction. Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
No, man, I appreciate you coming down. So, like I said, let's go back to the start. So take me back to the beginning. What are your earliest memories of music in your life?
So, I got into music through guitar first, right?
Nice, man.
And it was Brian May from Queen.
Cool.
Because I had seen Bohemian Rhapsody and I had heard him play the solo and was like, I can do that. Because I think years prior I'd gotten an electric guitar for Christmas.
Yeah.
So it was just downstairs and I was 12 or something at the time. And I just went and learned it on one finger and was like, oh, this is really cool. And then I seen Guns N' Roses and I seen Slash and I seen how much aura he had and I was like, oh, nah, this is a bit for me.
Nice, man. You got the proper Slash head. Did you grew it out, didn't you?
I did. Years ago, I actually had hair like Slash. So it was
nice.
really, really long and I just let it all wild.
But did you go for the top hat, though?
I never wore a top hat, no. I didn't go that far. I felt like if I had got the top hat as well, it'd be too much, a bit too close. So
maybe. Well, to be fair though, I think you could pull it off. I think the top hat. Do you know what? I had a cowboy hat and I want to bring it in the office to put in the background, but I've totally fucking left it. I was going to bring that up in the thing. But it's funny that you said that you started with Guns N' Roses and Brian May.
Yeah.
Most people's earliest things with guitar, if they start as Smoke on the Water and shit.
Nah, I skipped all over that. Bohemian Rhapsody was the first thing I ever learned on
nice
guitar.
one.
And it was the solo. It wasn't even the song. It was
that you went straight for it.
It was with one finger because I didn't know what I was
Did you pick it up quite naturally? Or?
Yeah, it was fast. It was pretty quick, and the internet just had everything you would ever need, so it just made learning it really easy.
Yeah, because you're what, 24?
I'm 24. Yeah,
I
turned 24 in April.
Nice man. It's rare now that I get guests younger than me, but now I'm starting to get older. I'm like, oh fuck yeah, people actually.
How old are you?
30.
Oh yeah, you did.
You're like, damn. What's that clip of who's been? If he's a Kevin Hart and the guy's like, yeah, I'm 50. He's like, damn. He's like, damn. He's like, sorry. Yeah. So what was it about music that really captured your attention? What? Obviously, you said Brian May was inspiration, but what was it that sort of? Why then decide to play it and not just listen to it?
Because I don't know. It was there was just something in the air. You know what I mean? And I loved the way that these people looked, and I loved everything about it. I loved the sound.
How it made you feel.
Yeah, totally.
Because music has that ability, and I think we have lost that a little bit.
Yeah.
I was listening to the radio the other day because my phone had a fit and I couldn't get Spotify to work, and I was like, these songs are all crap. I want to listen to November Rain or something like that. You know what I mean? That's the kind of the vibe.
But totally, with another thing as well, just while I was thinking about it, it was there was a part of myself that I seen in these people that I think maybe I hadn't expressed before in my life, because I feel like I hadn't never found my thing. So from being young to being a early teenager, I had never found something that had I could call mine and something that I could build. Yeah. And I seen people like Slash and I was like, oh, that's something that I could do, and it was just so inspiring.
Yeah.
And it was everything about it. Yeah.
Was it more of a band sort of dynamic that grew your attention, or was it just that you just saw I could be
it was kind of, I think it was a bit of both. It was just it was something in the air.
Dude, just sit forward ever so slightly. Just cool. Nice, man.
Is that better?
We were having Mike peeking before. But I want to stay on the topic a little bit of the mindset of it, because you obviously at the minute are more of a one-man army. You fucking do everything now, which I take my hats off to you. Writing, producing, mixing, mastering, artwork, marketing, everything. Yeah. Why do you think it's so important that vision stays in your hands?
Because I couldn't find anyone else that was thought the same way as me. And I mean, I don't really relate to a lot of musicians anyways, that when I meet other artists, I'm kind of really? I always find myself when they speak about things, whenever I go on Threads and I scroll, or Twitter, and I scroll down and I see what other musicians are talking about, I'm just come on, man.
What is it that they're talking about that you don't
I just think it's a bit too whiny for me. It just seems like they're like, oh, it's so much harder to ever make it in music than ever, and it's impossible because AI's doing this and this and that, and I'm just like, yeah, but okay, I've clicked on your profile, I can't see anything that you've done.
Yeah.
So it's like an excuse, right? And I'm not saying that AI isn't gonna change music because I mean it already has started, but it's like, I just think there's just none of that like hustler mindset, you know?
Yeah, you seem
And
very
the
old
ones that
school.
are hustlers have already made it. So
It is because like I've used AI to make tracks before, like for like presentations or like me mom had something that she wanted to turn into a song for someone, and I'll use this app thing to do it. But I think AI has probably been in music longer than we think. Like a lot of like back-end tracks and things like that now, like a lot of pop things are probably easier to make with these softwares that do use a case of AI. Like it's not like you're not asking it through prompts, but you're giving it like this beat.
it's just now more accessible to everyone. I mean, major film studios have had AI since like the early 2000s. Like, I mean, if you watch like Frozen, you really think they've manually went through and drawn every single moving particle of every strand of grass? It's like they've had it. It's just now everybody has it.
Yeah, we have it to a lesser
cool
extent
because it's kind of like you have now the power to use it as a tool that would have previously cost millions and millions. And it's now everyone's hands, which I think is really cool. But obviously there's like a yin and yang.
So do you think, like, obviously being a solo artist and doing all this yourself, do you think you'll start to do that, or are you really hesitant to touch that?
I just think it depends. I'm not like closed-minded to anything, really.
Yeah.
It's like if there's an AI tool that I'm into, it's like, oh, cool. I mean, Isotope, who are like a production type of thing, they've had like loads of really cool AI, like AI mastering and stuff, which is sick because like previously you would have had to have spent so much money for mastering, and these AI mastering tools are great, you know? So it's like, I've got no problem with that shit.
Nice.
I mean, I think if you're like generating a whole song and stuff and you try to pass it off as your own, I think that causes problems.
Yeah.
But
because that's too easy to do, though. But there is that element of like,
should you be able to profit off something like that if you didn't make it?
I don't know what the copyright rules are on AI. I've never actually looked at that, because even I was like, I want to use this track on a video I was making for YouTube for somebody else, and I was like, can I use this? Like, what's the license? It was really like a gray area, because it's like no one made this, but someone made the software. It's like, do they have access to this? I suppose it opens up a lot of. Because obviously you do get a lot of these artists now like suing other artists for stealing like the tiniest bit of a song. It's like, what if AI copies it and you don't know? Like, you could end up in a lot of fucking legal trouble.
Yeah.
You
can't exactly... Chris Williamson, didn't someone like take his entire voice and like put it into one of the AI narrator things? Because I mean, Joe Rogan as well, where it's just like all of that. There's so much to feed in AI software because there's like maybe like 1,000 hours worth of like talking.
Oh yeah.
And
there's ones I can't remember. It's something studio anyway, I think it is, and it's like you give it a lot of. Say I gave it a lot of my podcast or whatever of just me. I could do a podcast, just tell it what topic I want, and it would just be me talking about it, which is insane. Yeah. But I'm kind of like you in that way. I don't want to do that to just produce like an episode. I want to do it properly because I take pride in that, I guess.
Totally, but I think there's always going to be a place for like organic. I mean, have you ever heard an AI song where you're like, wow, this is incredible, I would listen to this over Radiohead? Exactly. And it's like, I mean, VHS cameras are coming back and stuff, and it's like people want things, which is great because there's less pressure to be perfect, because people want things that feel human. So
we've said that a few times on the show. Like we've kind of done like a weird flip, because before we thought everyone wanted the polished version, which we did. We wanted to see. We loved the lives of the rich, the famous, the successful. We had that in magazines. We wanted to see that, but now we can look like that at any point. So now people are going, well, hang on, I want a bit more authenticity. Exactly. I want to see I want to see people pick their nose. I want to see people go take a shit.
Be perfectly imperfect.
Yeah, exactly. And I think with music and stuff like that, if you can hear that it's a lot like. Are you a fan of Green Day at all?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, have you listened to like Dookie and all the stuff?
I love Dookie.
Like compared
That's
to now,
such a sick album.
Yeah, and it's like, but there's something different about listening to that than more modern rock music. There's just something about the way it sounds, the way it's not too polished. There's
modern rock is like so polished, which I like some of it, I dislike some of it. It's really just depends on the band, but like Dookie's awesome. Like Welcome to Paradise, what a song.
Yeah, man.
The bass breakdown in that.
Do you want to know something funny? Like I went to see them a few years ago in Manchester, and they did the whole of Dookie, and they did the whole of American Idiot in full from start to finish with mixed light news, and it was one of the best experiences. And I'm just like, fuck yeah, it was so good. Yeah. Like, people got on stage playing the guitar with them. Oh man, it was fucking sick. But I'm also like a little bit on the side of like, I'm big on collaboration. Obviously, I have Collar over here who helps with the podcast, and I couldn't do it without her. So she's part of my team to do that.
Yeah.
And but I think like, in order to build something far past yourself, it takes a level of trust, but also a level of leadership. Like, once you build the foundations, you can teach other people how to do the bits that you would want done. I guess. Like, I was always taught to remember that the generals of war are not the ones that be remembered, but the soldiers are the ones who chip away at the enemy bit by bit. So I'm like, you could be the general, but I think it's helpful to have, like, there's nothing more helpful in a business or a team than loyal fucking soldiers. Yeah. And it's just finding the right kind of soldiers. And I'm grateful that I found my soldier.
Yeah.
Captain!
I'm definitely getting to that point where I realize the amount of, like, things that I need to do. I've definitely taken on too much of a workload. Yeah. And it's like, I need to start finding people who are, like, going to get in the trenches with me and help me grow bigger and bigger.
Yeah. It's hard to do it all yourself, and it is a lot of work.
So time consuming. Like, my calendar, I just look at it every day, and I'm like, oh, I've got to do this.
Well, people think being your own boss and stuff like that and creating something sounds awesome, and it is. But the level that you have to play at in order to pull it off successfully is insane. Like, the level of dedication you have. Like, it's not just like you're not going to get up motivated, and if you don't do it, it doesn't get done. Like, no one can do this for me. No one can write your songs for you.
And that's the thing with people who are born into, like, wealthier families and that, who have, like, say a lot of people in the music industry are, like, just kind of trust fund kids, and they've had everything, and it's like they don't know what it's like to be in the trenches and actually have to just do everything, because they already have a PR team, they already have someone doing all their social media, they already have a professional photographer taking all of their photos, and it's like the little things, like, I need to shoot my own content, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do all my social media posts, I need to, like, it's so much. You're doing like 13 people's jobs, right? Yeah. So maybe that is why people are whining on Threads.
But it's also, you've got to find the right people that you can trust, because there's so many people, especially in any creative industry. There's people that will sell you out. There's people that will backstab you. There's people that you can't trust. It's like, in order to build that team, you've got to do it. I think you've got to do it very fucking slowly and very decisively.
Slow steady wins the race.
Yeah, exactly. And I think another interesting topic on the creative side of things is failure. Right. Because anything you do yourself, you can easily fail at, and especially when you're doing it online, people can see whether you fuck up or not. It's quite a big mental load to take on. Like, before social media, people didn't really know that what you were doing. You just did it, and then if you made it big, that's when people heard about you. But now they can see all the incremental steps. Like, what's your view on failure? What's your view on things not going right? Like, what's your mentality behind
everything's
things?
A lesson. Failure is just a matter of perspective. So it's like, if you fail at something, but then you never know, like, let's say I try something, right? And I fail at it, but then through that failure, I'm like, well, what if I did it like this instead? And then that thing, you do it instead, and that works, and that booms, and it's like, brilliant, you know?
That lesson.
So it's always a lesson. It's like everything in life is just a series of lessons if you really think about it. And I mean, some lessons are more brutal than others, but it's always just a lesson.
Yeah, man.
That's how I see it.
Have you ever had, obviously, we'll talk about the album in a bit. Like, I've got a big section that I want to completely, like, dissect the album as well. Man. But have you ever had something that obviously you start playing guitar and singing stuff like 13 and whatnot? Like, was there ever a moment where you were like, I have totally fucked this up, or I've done something where I regret doing it, where you be maybe like, this is a failure almost?
I remember when I first started vocals, that was a rough road, because I was like a child prodigy kind of thing on guitar. So it was like, as soon as I was like, I'm gonna be a vocalist, people were just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And it was like an uphill battle of like every single person being like, you don't do this, you need to do this, you need to do this, don't. And I just was stubborn about it. But then I remember when I was like 2.5 years in, I remember having like a really, really bad gig where my voice was just like, I think I was a bit ill or something. And it was terrible. And I remember like, it was New Year's Eve. And I remember driving home and being like, I think I've like made a decision. But then my like vocal coach at the time was like, it's just a bad gig. And then kept it in it. And then, rest is history.
Do you think it was, did that come off the back of maybe being a little bit like, I can fucking do this, I'm fine, because I had that with a speech once, and I made a joke and it did not go down, no one fucking laughed.
And when you just stood there awkwardly on stage.
I obviously then had to recover, and then what happened was that led to a spiral where I fucked up the next story I was telling, and it just wasn't good, but I had it all on camera as well, which is fucking hard. But that's a lesson learned, and then the next one I went into,
and you killed it.
Yeah, I was fucking fine. Yeah, I'd cut the joke out, and you've got to learn what works in your set, like what, because you learn from that vocal mess up or whatever, where you're like, okay, I can't do this if I'm ill. I can't do it if this is the case. So, but I think too many people, like, the first hurdle collapses them. They'll just trip and fall.
Yeah, but then that's. Let's hear it.
Fucking, what was it? It was in context, all right. So it was something like I was talking about how most people, when they get opportunities, they will just go, "Oh, no one answered the door. Let's fuck off," right?
Right.
And like, I was in my flow, and I was talking about how, like, you need to be like knocking like this on the, like, keep knocking. Yeah. Like, if no one's answering, people are eventually gonna go like, "Oh, fucking, who's at the door? Like, what do you want?" kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And I stupidly said something like, "I opened the door," and then I was like, and then you open the door and it's a Jehovah's Witness or something stupid like that, right? It was the stupidest fucking one-line quip, right? And it just came out, and no one fucking got it, and I was like, right, okay.
I'd have laughed.
It was just like, it wasn't even meant to get like a laugh. It was just meant to be like, like, that's, you know, kind of like lighten the mood, go from something serious.
Everyone's just
kind of staring at me. Deadpan. But like, that's the thing about like you'll find this now as well in gigs as well. Like, people aren't as responsive anymore. I think like at speeches it's hard because they're listening, right? You can't tell whether they're enjoying it. But music, you go to gigs now, not everyone's bouncing. Everyone's just kind of staring at you.
But like, you know what though? That's the singer's fault. Because if the singer was turning around and was like, "Come on, guys, let's get up," and that's what I do, and everyone's always bouncing at my shows, so it's like you just
it's the energy you give out. Yeah, as
exactly.
Well,
You got to teach people how to have a good time. You've got to show by example. And if you're having a good time and you're encouraging them, jumping in the audience with them and mosh pitting with them and stuff, like whilst screaming, it's like, yeah,
that sounds like quite a multi-talented skill.
Yeah, no, exactly, and it's like, what I did before I had like good vocal abilities and vocal chops is I leaned more on the performance aspect.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't Mariah Carey on stage, so I was like, I need to be a better performer and like be like Freddie and just kind of like, how far can I take this? And I would just jump in the audience, climb on top of bars and stuff. And kind of, yeah.
That's old school fucking rock and roll, exactly. That shit. But like, it's what people are missing, I think.
Exactly.
Like,
and then it's like, when I had the ability as well after years of practice, it's like now I can perform like a motherfucker and I can also fucking hit every note, and it's like, this is just like, oh. But,
well, that's the thing when I started giving speeches and stuff, like, I would go and I would be like third in line for like the next speaker or whatever, and I would get people that were like, they would sit there or they would just stand to the end of a PowerPoint presentation and sort of point. I'm like, that's not, you're given the right information and it's cool information, but it's boring as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, it's like you coming out and just playing guitar and singing in one spot, no audience participation, nothing. Yeah. Like, that's not what people come for. They come for a show. Like, anything like that, you are a performer.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the difference. I'm not an artist. I'm not singing songs. I'm performing. Yeah, like,
exactly. There is a difference.
Yeah.
There is a difference between being an artist in the studio and being a live performer, and you have to be good at both.
Exactly, man. So what pushed you to actually do vocals then? Because you say it was like a 2-year gap between doing guitar and line vocals?
So it was kind of like, I think I had just hit a point with like guitar where I was like, I just don't want to do this anymore, and it was like I wanted to do vocals because I was like really inspired by like Axl Rose and stuff, and it's like, I just think I had like, it had hit its expiry, and I was like, I remember in COVID being way more inspired by actual like songs and like melodies and like vocal abilities and stuff, and I was like, I just want to be able to like do this stuff, because it's like, the shreddy guitar thing was just like, I just seen it as a dead end. I was like, I don't want my like music career to be because like, it's just so whack, and like I just lost interest, to be honest, and then wanted to move on and needed a new challenge, and always loved different styles of music and wanted to do like hip hop as well, and wanted to do like classic rock, and I just liked everything, and I just, with guitar, found it as like a limitation, and it was like I just had hit its dead end. I wanted to be a musician instead of just a guitar player. And it's cool that I can do all of that stuff as well, because I mean, I go down Instagram and everyone's and it's like I can do that, but
it's handy to be able to do both as well. Exactly. You just pull that out of you can just start singing and pull out of a guitar, and everyone goes, "Oh shit, they can play guitar too."
Yeah, exactly. Because people, and that's the thing now. I've probably built my brand like away from that. So like, if I did ever like, I remember I played like "Sweet Child of Mine" at like a gig thing that I was doing, and I posted like the solo, like everyone's like, "Wait, what?" Whipping out the Slash solos and that, and I'm like, yeah.
That's a nice party trick to have, though.
Yeah, exactly. It's cool. And Prince did stuff like that as well. Like, and Prince had that same thing of, like, he would play a guitar solo and everyone would be like, what?
Yeah.
At, like, an award show. He did, like, a famous guitar solo at an award show. I can't remember.
Was it not for Purple Rain, maybe?
Yeah, it might have been. And, yeah. And people lost their shit. And, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
he had the right idea. He definitely had the right idea with like producing and stuff, and I've definitely taken a lot of his philosophies.
Yeah, have you seen there's a dude on TikTok, I think there's a few of them actually, and he does like covers of like riffs, he does like Freebird, and he does like Slipknot and stuff like that, but he does it on a lute. And it's so fucking good. He's so good. But he's like, instead of it's like Slipknot, it's like Slippeth Not. And so it's so good. Like, I'm going to have to show you after this.
I love stuff like that.
But like, that level of like experimentation is fantastic. And I think if you were to just stick to guitar, then, you know, unless...
It would have been a massive mistake.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I was stubborn enough. Because people thought with vocals as well. I mean, production, like, people were more lenient because it's like, oh yeah, you can produce music and stuff. But like, with vocals, it was like, you're not born a singer, you can't sing, and it's like, that's just absolute BS. And what people online have done is they've like taken a few phrases from opera, like a few little old school vocal things, and then they've said, if you don't sing like this, you're going to damage your voice, buy my £300 course. And they've done that. But if people think if you're not naturally born talented, which I don't even believe talent exists anyways as like a whole, but if you're not born with the voice of an angel, that you can't learn how to do it. And it's like, no, it's a skill, and it's like a coordination skill. That's like saying if you aren't born in shape, you can't go to the gym. It's like, that's crazy to say, isn't it? But it's the same thing. It's a muscle. It's a
well, Ed Sheeran was famous because he was on a show once, and he played what he sounded like when he and he was fucking shite. He was so bad.
But that's just because of gatekeeping as well, and then people monetized it, which you'll find a lot of online of like scaring people, then sell the solution for extortion.
Oh, it's all courses and stuff, how to do this the right way.
There's no such thing as good vocal
learn how to
technique
sing
anyways.
in 2 weekends and shit like that.
There's no such thing as good technique anyways. It's all a lie.
It's interesting what you said about talent though. So like, where do you stand on that? Because obviously
it doesn't exist under any circumstances.
You think so? But people do get born with like the ability to sing to a degree, or do you think they sort of start singing early and it just develops earlier?
Some people are born with an advantage, but like that's just having an advantage. That's like saying you can't make a lot of money if you're not born into a wealthy family. You know what I mean? And it's like, and also
it's like a head start almost.
Yeah, and also like, what's a good voice anyways is just a matter of perspective anyways. It's not like a black and white kind of thing. Like, you show an old woman Corey Taylor screaming Eyeless, are they gonna be like, wow, that's a nice sounding voice, or is he just screaming? But then you go and you break down like the fundamentals and the mechanics of what he's doing, and it's like, oh, that's crazy for someone that likes that style of music.
I remember I worked with the last one. I worked in a restaurant, and late at night the rock songs would come on. It was fucking mint. And it would be like Sweet Child of Mine, or Sweet Child of Mine, or Back in Black as well. So I was saying, no, it's not the same band. Before anyone fucking comments, but it was. She hated that level of what she called screechy singing.
Okay.
And it would grind out, and she would run and skip it, and I'm like, that's fucking mint to me though. Exactly. I mean, Axl Rose, bless him.
I love Axl.
I love him, but
he's my guy.
He can't do it anymore, man.
But he's also in his 60s, and it's like, if you watch the Use Your Illusion, no wonder he can't do it anymore. This guy used to run around stage for 3 hours a night and left nothing on the line, and screamed as hard as he could without monitors. Like, I mean, with monitors, but he didn't have like in-ears and stuff because it was the 90s. So he's screaming over the top of Slash's wall of Marshalls and stuff, and it's like, whilst he probably running a marathon on stage. Like, Axl is the freak of freaks when it comes to singing. Like, my all-time favorite singer. I love Axl Rose, but like, he's a much older guy now. But the fact that he can still, considering the abuse he's put his voice through over the years, the fact that he can even like, that he still does it, and he still works hard, and that, it's like, I love Axl Rose.
I was always shocked, like, Ozzy still had it after so many years as well.
I thought Ozzy sounded great in his last show. Like,
unbelievable, He went out as, I think, out of all the rock stars that have passed, I think Ozzy went out
with a bang.
Out of all of them. Some of them just sort of dip, and then they go into retirement, and then they relax and enjoy the fruits of their labours. But Ozzy came back, blew it away, and then just went, right, I'm done.
And then died. And then it was like, just went out like a true god, didn't he?
He did, man. Absolute legend. R.I.P. Ozzy. But let's talk about your album as well. So the album's called Trauma. It released February of this year. It took you 4 years to piece it together. So at what point did it stop being a debut album and become more of an intricate story that you wanted to tell?
I think from the beginning. I was like, I really wanted to make a concept album, and I wanted it to be narrative driven, because what got me a lot into like kind of songwriting stuff anyways was the lyrical side of things. Like, I would always be dead inspired by like Eminem and stuff, and it's like, wow, you can really use like music as a platform to express your emotions and like express your stories and tell your stories.
Yeah.
And that's what I always thought was super, super interesting. And I wanted to do something where the whole thing was a story. And it's like, what happens with a record if you put storytelling first instead of songs first? And I remember consciously being like, I'm just not going to have any choruses. I mean, eventually, like, you're a songwriter, you're going to put a chorus. And
Yeah.
It's always going to have catchy parts if you know what you're doing. But, like, I wanted it to be narrative first. And, like, each song's going to be a different genre and it's all going to be about the stories. And it's going to be, like, sheer heart attack on steroids. Like, that was, like, the mentality.
Yeah. No.
But, yeah, I just wanted something that was, like, narrative driven. Because I always found, like, I had these stories that are on the record, and if I would tell people in everyday life, they'd be like, oh, whatever. But you put those lyrics in a song, and suddenly you're a genius. And it's like, oh, okay.
Did you know what the story was from the beginning, or did it
Yeah, it was just story of my life, really.
Yeah.
It was just like, it was just needed to say what I had to say, and it's like, this was the things that put me in the position that I was in, and it's like, these are my stories to tell, and it's why it's authentic. It's like, when you listen to it, and it's like, this feels really real, because it is.
It's nice that I can see, I mean, for anyone that's not watching, I can see how proud you are of this album.
It's just, the hurdles to overcome, it just was, I thought it would never be done.
When it was finally done, was it like, fuck
yes? It was like over Christmas of this year, of last year, and I was like, I remember like being like, that's it, it's done, and then submitting it, and I remember when I submitted it, I was like, oh my god, I've actually finished it. And just with all of its flaws and imperfections and that, and I'm like, this is a real piece of work. And I remember I showed like a few people, like I remember showing my uncle, and he was just like, how on earth have you done this? And I was like,
well, yeah. I do want to dissect it a little bit. I picked up on a few things. I'm just going to say, I know you're comfortable by that. Just pull the microphone a little bit closer to you. I'll just confirm about something. Sounds sweet. So I'll listen to it. And in the prologue, there's a bit where you describe playing the first gig and not being ignored anymore, being cheered, and being told that you'd be famous one day.
Yeah.
Obviously, given the song and the context, what did that experience of being told that and playing that first gig and not being ignored anymore, what did that mean to you?
Well, I think it polluted my mind, and it was like it put like an expectation of my life of like I had to live up to that, because that was the first time I'd ever been acknowledged for anything. And I can still very vividly remember that first gig I played as a teenager, but I always felt like I had like been ignored my entire life before I had music and stuff, and then it was like suddenly like, you're the best thing since sliced bread, and it was like that juxtaposition of like no one really caring, you're just like another kid on the playground type thing, to like, you're this like prodigy and you're gonna be so famous and you're gonna have this, and it like it fully got in my head.
So it became a little bit addictive.
Yeah, but it's like, it also, everything happens for a reason, and it's like, would I have gotten on that path if I didn't have that immense level of praise at a young age? I don't know, maybe not, but yeah.
How old were you when you did that first gig?
I think I was either 12 or 13.
That's quite an interesting. That's a developmental age to be told.
Yeah, and it was like suddenly suddenly everyone was like super interested in me, and like everyone wanted to talk to me, and everyone was like, "You're amazing," and it was like I'd never had that for anything in my life up until that point, and it was like, whoa, it was like being on drugs. It like genuinely felt like it was like quite a drugged out experience of just like, what?
Yeah.
It's
similar in context to when I made videos for the first time and stuff, and like I was kind of the same. Like, I don't know what you were like in school, obviously, but obviously I'm guessing you weren't one of the popular ones, or like you didn't get a lot of
follow me now though.
Yes,
motherfuckers. I see you like my stories. I fucking do.
And they're always like, I always supported you. Yeah, no, you fucking didn't. No, you fucking didn't.
I say this all the time with my sister. I'm like, oh, look who's started following me on Instagram. Look who's liking this post. I'm like, fucking bitch. Like,
it's funny, isn't it, when you start?
I'm not humble about it. I won't be humble about it. I'm like.
I love it, man. I fucking love it. It is interesting though, because like when you get that level of, I mean, I've had some deep talks recently about that level of like, when you get acknowledged for something that you do for the first time, that you do not want to let that go, and you build your identity around it almost. It's kind of, it's a double-edged sword though, I think, because with it becomes a lot of expectation to keep it up.
Exactly.
And also like, if someone hasn't said that you're a prodigy for a while, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's different when you're young as well, but then as you're obviously in your 20s now and stuff like that, I feel like you get less. I feel like the better you are, the less compliments you get, because people
I've noticed that.
People are trying to encourage you at the start, but I feel like when you're established, people just assume that you get it all the time, so they say nothing. But it's actually the opposite. It's like, you get more at the beginning of your career than you do sort of towards like the middle of it, I guess.
I think as well another example of that is my first vocal cover I ever did, like went like semi-viral. If that had came out like 2 months later when Instagram had like brought out that repost feature, it probably would have gotten millions. It was when I did Earth Song by Michael Jackson, and
I saw that in your highlights.
The level of praise I got from that was just like, what? Like all the massive Michael Jackson fan pages all messaging me and stuff, and it was like crazy. But then I did more and more, and they got less and less and less and less praise. Did Doom by Bring Me the Horizon? No one gave a fuck. And it was like,
When did you do Earth Song? When was it that you did
it? It was last year. It was just before the repost feature, so it's got like hundreds of comments and like thousands of shares and like thousands and thousands of likes. I think it's got like 37,000 likes or something just on Instagram.
Did it blow up again when the Michael Jackson movie came out?
It did a little bit. It got like an extra like 100k kind of views. Nothing crazy, but a little bit.
100k is pretty fun, crazy for a lot of like, shit like that.
Totally. Yeah. But then I go on the internet and people have 20 million. I'm like,
sometimes sometimes you get like a good guy on a post, but it's always easy to compare with the people that get like loads.
That's why you can't be too attached to numbers, because it's like you're always gonna want more and more from it. So that's why I kind of try to be more like, am I proud of this and has it like helped my career, rather than like what is the number of things that this got. But I think it was cool.
I made a viral video for the gym that I work in, and it was the boss. He held like this thingy of fat. It's just like a blob of fat, like what a pound of fat looks like. It was like 1.2 million views, like thousands of comments, and then like nothing. That's it, you know. And you spend your time trying to replicate that, and it just never works. But like, it's like for the creators listening, it's like, would you still do what you did if you couldn't see the numbers?
Yeah.
It's like, if you think about it, if you couldn't see how many views your reels got, if you couldn't see how many people had listened to it, if you couldn't see the comments, would you still do it because you loved it? Yeah. It's quite a hard question to answer, because a lot of it does come from that validation.
It's definitely not a black and white answer.
It's not,
like, I feel like as humans, we're always trying to get acknowledgement, and everyone just wants to feel wanted and accepted ultimately. So, I don't know. I don't want to be like, yeah, I would always do this. And it's like, would I do it if I didn't get anything in return? Well, I mean, I would be a hypocrite if I said I did, because I've already like kind of implied I don't want to do the vocal cover thing anymore, because it's like I feel like I've weared it out, and it's like I'd want to do something else instead, because the last one didn't do that well and the one before didn't do that well, and I'm like, because I mean the first one did so well that it's just whatever, and I feel like it gets a little bit oversaturated anyways with. I feel like everyone's on the internet doing some kind of vocal cover. But you know what? Rawness is back. Like, people are just, like, in their car, like, singing karaoke and get, like, 1 million views.
Yeah. So that's what people like, though, because I scroll past polished videos now, you know, because I'm like, oh, they're well established. I like seeing the ones that are like trying, like the underdog ones. They're the ones that I'm really into.
Like there's something about what someone driving in their car and they're singing the chorus of Man in the Box, and it's just like unreal.
Yeah. That's why I like these guys. It's like that guy that does the loot. He's just on his sofa just looting, and I'm like,
that's so interesting though. Like, that I've seen a few different things like that with like putting flutes through distortion pedals and stuff, and it's like, whoa, this is cool.
Like that level of experimentation is great on the social media thing. But I want to go back to the pressure. So do you still feel that pressure of that expectation of being told that you were destined for something bigger? Is that still like a thing in your mind where like,
probably,
like, have I hit this yet? Like, am I bigger than?
Probably. That's just, it's toxic, but it's definitely there, and I feel like it motivates me. I mean, I'm definitely not lazy, so it has its advantages. But yeah, it's definitely there.
How do you manage it then?
I don't. I don't.
I cry in the mirror every day.
Whiskey. It's like. Yeah.
Well, you do have a song about Jack Daniels, so.
Oh yeah.
Which I think that's actually my favorite one on the album. Actually.
Oh, thanks, man. I love Jack Daniels. Please endorse me. Have you tried the new blackberry flavor of Jack Daniels?
No.
Crazy.
Is it nice?
It's crazy. It doesn't really taste like whiskey. It's mad. It's good though. It's a good job.
I don't really drink anymore, but we'll put that as an endorsement as well.
Hell yeah.
But so the press release described the album, because you sent me over the press release. I had a good read through it. Described it as a twisted children's storybook for adults, right?
Yeah.
Which I thought was really interesting. So I know we spoke about Roald Dahl being a big influence.
Yeah, very big.
Where does he fit in your creative DNA?
Well, I mean, like, his books and the way he would rhyme and stuff was, like, so in my DNA from being a young kid, like, reading, like, the Twits and Matilda and, like, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and all these, like, kind of classic they're, like, pieces of art, really, these, like, children's books. And, I mean, everyone from my generation was basically, like, raised on them. And, the the way he rhymes, like when I was like, one of the songs, Ofsted Off Their Heads, like I was really influenced by the idea of like Matilda and all of that sort of thing with the abusive teachers and stuff, because it like related to my story. So I took a few quotes from that. But then I got really into reading like a lot of his like texts, and I'm like, the way he rhymes is so like genius that it's like I wanted to do stuff and I wanted to rhyme like that. So like it became a part of my like lyrical DNA. It's like if you read a lot of my lyrics, it's very, very Rodal heavy with the rhyme schemes.
Yeah.
And then if you put like a Kendrick Lamar style rap on it, it's like, oh, that's like really interesting. And yeah, so that song in particular was where a lot of the Rodal kind of influence came from, because that was the second song I did on the record. And then like after that, I wanted it everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I had always wanted to do a thing with chapters, and I wanted it to be a storybook album anyways.
Yes.
But then when I had that Rodal thing as well, I'm like, now it's like a children's storybook, and especially because I had like done songs with kids choirs previous, I'm like, I'm bringing it all together, and it's like, this is like really, really unique. So
that level of excitement about it as well is insane. Like the show, I love that it's showing through.
I can't wait to actually like sing some of these kid choir parts live, because I think people genuinely think that I like hired kids to do it, and it's like, you really think someone's letting me like hire their children to sing about cocaine? It's like, I mean, now we're in Gateshead right now, but like,
we're in South Shields, man. It's even fucking worse. Man.
It's like sniffing coke with Jenny and stuff. It's like, you think what, some random 19-year-old making an album he wants my child to sing about coke? We'll pass.
I fucking love it.
Yeah,
I love it. Well, is there a lyric within the album that, or maybe is it even your top 3 lyrics that you're like really proud of when you wrote and you were like, fucking mic drop?
There's a lyric in the epilogue where it's like, picking your social issues to stay face when talking about a girl, because I had a situation where it was like she would do all of this stuff but then would be on social media being like reposting the purple pictures about equality and all of that sort of thing, and I'm like, just pick your social issues to stay face. And I just think the way I sing it is just like, I always love that lyric. Like, and there's definitely more lyrics that are like more clever and more poetic and stuff, but like the picking your social issues to stay face, I love that lyric.
Like a virtue signaling kind of thing.
Yeah. It's just hard. Like,
I saw something the other day and I was like, I can't, like, you know those memes that you send to like the group chat and stuff like that? And it was like, I think I sent it to you, didn't it? It was like someone's Twitter, it was like a screenshot of Twitter, someone put, I can't even fucking say this. Someone put like, what does this flag mean? I keep saying overweight people use it. What country are all these overweight people from? And it was just the pride flag.
Oh,
it's like, oh my god, it's so savage. And I was like, but the people that are resharing that, but there's people that laugh at that, but then would like never joke about that at the same time. And it's like,
I think we came a long way socially. I think everyone, like, it got very like walking on eggshells-y for a long time, and now everyone's like, oh, it's like I can finally make jokes again.
Well, that's what we're saying, like the authentic side of things again, like is coming back. Like for a while everyone was kind of like polished, and then it seemed to just sort of crack, and then now everyone's like, oh, can we go back to just being human again? Yeah,
totally. But it's like a yin and yang, isn't it? It's like if you go so far one way, it's gonna crack and it's gonna spin the other way, and then it's gonna be like, whoa, we don't want to be like bring racism back or anything like that. That's crazy.
We're not going that far.
It's like, but I think it's you're allowed to say things now again.
Yeah, like that's why I like having a podcast, because I can
totally.
I get to say what I want. Like you asked me before on the phone, you were like, "Can I swear?" And that's like absolutely most fun.
Thank fuck for that. Like there was a time like, oh, I can't swear, and like
it's like would I get monetized more on YouTube if I didn't swear? Probably, but then it's waters down me, and I'm not like
totally.
Like me and Carla were talking before about the amount of stuff that to be relevant I say on social media. The amount of, they tell you like, oh, post 4 times a day. Who the fuck, like normal people can post like 4 times? Like fair,
I'll post 12.
But like, do you know what I mean? Like how much worth it?
I'm burnt out though. I can't do it anymore.
I
was like in bed yesterday posting all of my videos, and I'm just like, I can't keep doing this anymore, because it's like the quality of the content is just crap, because it's like you're posting, you've got trending texts on screen, and like you're looking at what's currently working, and you're trying to like promote songs, and I mean it works, but it's like everybody's doing it as well, and it's like
it's so saturated.
I remember I just was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I need to find like a new thing, and I know now I want to get more into like filming on VHS cameras and just kind of creating my own world, and like letting people come to me rather than me try and come to everyone else. And I think that's the way you got to do it.
That's honestly, man, that's fucking perfect that you said that, because like creating content for content's sake, just like people make videos just to get people to watch the video. I'm like, there's no substance to this
Yeah.
whatsoever. Like, you know those ones where it's like you think something's gonna happen, but it never does.
Yeah.
And you know someone's just made that to get more views. I'm like, when did
Yeah.
we change from making something that was actually useful or entertaining to just get people to watch something or like just comment hate, or like, when did we become that as a culture?
Exactly. And it's like, I mean, social media is a great tool, but it's like, yeah.
It's like as an artist, for example, like there's ways to go viral in a good way, which you did with Earth Song,
Yeah.
and then there's other ways. I mean, like if you, I don't know, you can fucking go and cover a Gary Glitter song. Imagine the amount of fucking hate and
Brilliant
shit.
idea.
But it would go like because of the comments of people calling you shit, you know.
Yeah.
But it's like that's one way you could like that hate based thing. But it's
Yeah.
like would that
Hate sells.
But would it benefit your life in the long run when everyone fucking hates you, but you've got millions of followers? It's like
Yeah, but then again, for the people, everyone who's massively hated then always builds a fan base anyways. It's like, would I do something controversial to get loads and loads of views if it was going to set me up? Yeah, of course I would. But
How
then
far
it's-
would you
yeah,
take it,
that's
though?
the thing though. But it's like, as soon as you're like not being authentic to yourself, it's like, well, it's pointless because all the people are going to love you. They're going to love you for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
And then all the people that hate you are going to hate you for the wrong reasons. So it's like everybody knows who you are, but it's all for the wrong reasons.
yeah.
So
Well,
It's
do you
slippery
remember,
soap.
it's like when Bonnie Blue was in Newcastle, and I was like so tempted just to be like, "Do you want to come on the podcast?"
oh my god, mate, that would have gotten views.
It would have, but I was like, I'm not ready for that level of it.
Yeah.
Like,
I remember I didn't know who she was, and I googled it and was like, okay.
yeah. You're like, yeah, I googled, I don't know who she was. Meanwhile, you're in the line with the blue balaclava.
Yeah, it's like, what?
I'm number 326.
Oh.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts. But yeah, back to the album anyway. Enough of Bonnie Blue. What a
Yes,
tangent,
Bonnie
folks.
Blue features on the record. She's like one of the background vocals. Yeah, I got her in the studio. when
She's
she
one of
was
the
in
kids
New-
singers. Yeah. The Bonnie Blue choir, folks. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But every
My
chapter,
music was in the background while everyone was lining up. I was there signing autographs. Like,
you were like in the queue playing for everyone.
yeah,
while
I'm like strumming on the acoustic.
all these dudes like popping Viagra pills, like
Yeah,
trying to get out, and
yeah,
you're just
yeah.
like, "Da-da, Jackie
Yeah,
T." Fucking hell. Oh my god, I love that I don't cut anything out of these fucking episodes. I fucking love it. But to take it down a peg, every
Alright.
chapter of your album is linked to a tarot card, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So why was that? Carla's like, so
To get
why-
back in an ex-girlfriend.
Is that why? Okay, I
Well,
was gonna say,
part
why
of
is
the
that
reason-
important to you,
Right.
and how much stuff do you put in tarot cards?
So it was like, I really liked the idea that I could link the meanings of the songs to these visuals. So like every song could have its own tarot card, and it's like I would just research them and be like, okay, so what does this card mean, and what? Because you got Google, right? So I'm just like reading Reddit forums of like what all of these different cards mean, and then I would find a visual representation of like the lyrics. So like, for example, I'd have like spoiled brat syndrome, and I'm like, well, what do these lyrics kind of represent? And they're like, oh, well, it represents the justice card. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's like really cool. So then I went through and I like found a card that matched every theme. And what's nice is some of them aren't an exact match, but it gives an extra layer of depth to every single song, which I just think is like, oh, that's like really cool. And I had never seen anyone do it, but it's now every song on the album has its own piece of art that represents it.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you listen to the lyrics, listen to the song and look at the card, it's like, it's just, there's something there,
It
and
connects it a bit
it
more.
feels right.
It
So-
fills out the depth of the song
Yeah,
itself. It's not just
exactly.
like, oh, here's a song that I wrote. It's like, this is the depth behind it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like when you listen to like chapter 10 on the record, and then you're like looking at the devil, and you hear like the devil card, you're like hearing these lyrics and all these different parts and stuff. It's like, oh wow, this is cool. That's what I like about Spotify, that you can have a canvas on it, so you can have the
Yeah.
actual picture of all the tarot cards, like as you're listening to the record.
Yeah, man, I fucking love that, man. I fucking love it.
Yeah.
But another thing I loved is because I'm a big fan of songs like Jesus of Suburbia,
Hell yeah, yeah.
November Rain,
I'd-
the
November
songs that, because what I love is a lot of your songs on the album, it completely ignore modern attention spans,
Yeah.
which is fucking great.
Yeah.
Like they're near 10 minutes long. Like, why go long when everyone else goes short?
Because I just think that's what I like. I mean, I grew up on like November Rain and Guns N' Roses is like in my musical DNA. I mean, Avenged Sevenfold as well. They have like super long songs. Like, that's just the stuff that I always loved, because it's like it becomes an experience, like Queen. The way that Queen would write a lot of the songs on A Night of the Opera and A Day of the Races. It's like they've got like millions of vocal harmonies, and the songs are like 7 minutes long, and it takes you on a journey, and it's like there's breathing spaces in the song. And that always just really inspired me, and especially for someone that wants to tell stories with the lyrics. it gives me room. But where like a lot of the way I would use hip hop elements as well is like if I rap something really fast, I can say a lot of stuff in like a 2-minute schedule. Like, so yeah, that's why.
Yeah. So it was more. It is serving. It's not serving the audience. It's finding the right kind of audience, I think, and that's the important distinction to make. Like, I remember I asked someone to come on the podcast once because I thought they gave a speech and it was really interesting. And he was like, "Oh, how long's the episode?" And I was like, hour and a half ish. And he was like, "Oh, that's a long podcast." I was like, "What do you mean?" Yeah. I was like, "How much depth can you go into in half an hour?" You know,
the best podcasts are the ones that are like 2 hours, 3 hours.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't want to interview someone. I mean, if I was on the radio and I'm strapped for time, fair. But my own show, I'll go as fucking long as I can with someone. Bro. You know, like it makes sense and it gives that. Like someone else said, you should cut it down like a 45-minute segment and just do the best bits. And I was like, no, I'm good.
Shaking her head as well. Actually, no. No, literally.
But it's like, I'm like, why would I edit out a lot of stuff? I'm like, this is how I like my episodes to be. And it'll find the people that also like that. The problem is when you try and please everyone, you please no one. And you end up just diluting your art to please everybody else. Whereas with you, with your long songs and stuff, it's like, this is what I want to put out there. People who like these songs will gravitate more.
That's the thing. What all of my audience are like cult. Like, it's like, they're like, oh my God, you're a god and stuff. Like, I get messages on Instagram from like people from Brazil and they're like, you're my new hero. And it's like, okay. It's like,
I love that.
Sick.
Mate, I had someone call me a god the other. Like,
did you have it as well?
It was just not. It was just so out of the blue though, and I didn't even know what to say. Yeah. And I'd met him a few times, and he came. I mean, if you listen, I appreciate it. I'm not gonna name names, but like he was saying, like he was like, oh, I didn't recognize it was you from it. I didn't realize I was like standing next to a god, and I was like, bro. I was like, I got a podcast in South Shields, in the middle of an industrial estate. I ain't no god, but I was like, I will take it. I'll buy you a drink. Yeah. But I was just like when people resonate, I think. People try, when we say about like infamy and stuff, like people try to be that level of polarizing, but they forget there's another end of polarity as well, where you can be good and do your thing to the best of your ability, and people will follow you from that. You don't have to be controversial. You don't have to be a douchebag just to get views. Like, you know what I mean? You don't have to.
It does work.
Push it. But yeah, well, extremes I think eventually get punished. I think there's controversial, and then there's straight up like extremes will get punished. I think.
I guess if your views aren't actually really controversial, but it kind of makes people think. Like, I find myself saying things and people will be like, "Oh, I've never thought about it like that before."
That's good. Like, if something makes you think, that's fine. Yeah. If someone is constantly trying to produce hate for the sake of attention, I'm like, nah, you can get fucked up.
Yeah, because it's like, if it is hate rather than passion. Like, I think if you're passionate about something and you speak about that thing and it's like an interesting take, but it's got like good intentions behind it, I think that's okay. But like, if you're just being hateful and it's not actually what you believe, or maybe it's like a bit brainwashing or whatever, it's like, then
you gotta know what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. Be intentional.
Yeah, 100%. I'm a big nerd. I love video games. We were talking about video games before.
Hell yeah.
It's always fun for me to see what developers leave subtle clues or references to other works and stuff like that. And we tend to call these Easter eggs, right? For anyone that's not familiar with the term. So your album is actually littered full of Easter eggs. There's a lot going on. There's reoccurring themes. There's hidden references. Yeah. Like, why are you drawn to that level of detail, first of all?
Yeah, well, I mean, this record in particular is very kitchen sink production-wise. I just threw everything at it, every song. Like, there's tracks that are like 560 tracks of like just guitars and everything, and like random like kind of video game samples and stuff. Well, they're not random; they serve the narrative, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, talking about video games, I mean, Offset Off Their Heads has a lot of like retro video game sounds, like Crash Bandicoot, all of the like laughs in that, or like the evil guy from Crash Bandicoot.
Oh yeah,
yeah. And I put all the different like distortions and pan it around in that, and there's like Bowser noises and like Mario coins and just all of that. And I downloaded the like sound libraries of all of these games and like just use them as like production aesthetics and kind of like all of those sort of things. Like, I mean, I think the rap part in Offset is the best example because, you know, Mario 64, where you're getting all of the coins. I had the rap section as I'm getting faster, and it's as I'm like developing these rhythms and these polyrhythms, the dabba 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 dabba, and getting. It's like I have it so that it's like a leveling up. So I finish a phrase and then you hear the coin, and then I get faster at the end, and then I'm hitting all of the coins, and then I hit the high note at the end of the song, and then it's like the da 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 comes in, and then it like I thought that was a really cool example of like retro kind of video games in a song. I'd never heard anyone do that.
Yeah. What else have you? Because obviously there's the police sirens in one of them as well.
Yeah, they're real though.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That you actually recorded that happening, which we'll get into that story as well.
They can't sue me because it was out in public.
How'd you get away with using that Crash Bandicoot and stuff? Like, is that
do it?
Fair. I'm not. We'll do you think like in because obviously we've got like that
pitch it down and distort it and don't be big enough for them to notice.
Rewind it, yeah. But do you think, because obviously this is like we've got the tarot cards, you've got the demons behind it. Do you think that subtlety and that level of detail is missing from the modern music era?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think this is the stuff that everyone was doing in the 70s. And I think, something got lost. I think as radio became more prevalent, it was kind of became formulaic for radio. And I mean, I love formulaic pop songs too. I mean, and a lot of the stuff I'm kind of starting to make now are more aligned with that. But yeah, I think everyone in the 70s was like just wanting to be progressive and wanting to like try different things and experiment, like your Pink Floyds and your Queens and stuff. But now it's kind of like, I mean, there is pioneers, especially in metal. Like someone like Bring Me the Horizon, I think are like geniuses with the way that they produce things.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is like very kind of stale, but it is what it is.
Yeah. What do you think of bands that sort of change with the time? Because one of my favorite bands is Fall Out Boy. And I listened to them since I was fucking a young teenager, you know. And obviously, I started with. I actually came in the album, for anyone that knows, from Under the Cork Tree. It was the first album I heard. It wasn't the first. And then obviously you had Infinity on High, and then you had Full I Do. Can you tell I'm a fan?
Yeah.
And then they went on hiatus, but when they came back, they had a newer sound, but it still sounded like them. And they've sort of progressed to the point now where you could hear them on the radio, but it still sort of pleases old fans of that more like sort of punky era. So where do you think you sit in terms of like bands that move with the time? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think people should stick close to their roots? Like, where do you...
I think you should just make the art that you want to make, and then it's like, if it finds the audience after, great. If you get like radio play, great. I mean, think about like the early 2000s. Backcountry by Avenged Sevenfold was like fucking on tune. Radio with Britney Spears, and like that's a song, like that's a piece of art, that song. I mean, but it has the catchy chorus, so it's like they got away with it, right? But I think if you want to make songs for radio, there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's cool. Like, if you want to be like Imagine Dragons and do stuff like that, I think Imagine Dragons are cool as shit.
Yeah.
But like a lot of people will be like, oh well, it's just like radio rock or like Nickelback or something. But
I was just gonna mention them.
They're fantastic songs. So it's kind of like, okay.
Mate, Burn It to the Ground by Nickelback is one of my favorite songs of all time. It's just
that
riff
like WWE in it.
It's
that
just
was
so good. But like, I think Nickelback especially. Like, let's talk about this, right? Nickelback does not deserve the hate it gets. They don't deserve that. Chad does not deserve the hate it gets.
Chad seems cool though. He seems
bagged Avril Lavigne, the bastard. But it's just like, I'm just like, in terms of like the level of hate that they get, like they make songs about sex, drugs, rock and roll. Yeah. Mint. That's all I need from that type of niche band. I'm like, I don't need a deep song from me. I mean, they do have some where they're like, they talk about like maybe it's political issues and stuff, but for the most part, I'm like, just give me songs about sex, drugs, rock and roll, and drink. You know what I mean? Just give it to me.
Appetite for Destruction was kind of like that. It was very. I mean, I was always more into the Use Your Illusions, November Rain, Coma, and stuff. But like Appetite for Destruction, a lot of those lyrics are just kind of like sex, drugs, rock and roll in Los Angeles.
Yeah. So. And sometimes you just want that from music, you know? Like, Nickelback know what they are, and they don't apologise, and I think that's what pisses people off.
Nickelback are huge. I think a lot of people are just bitter as well that they're not huge. They're not as big as Nickelback, and they probably never will be. So it's like...
And Nickelback are a massive meme as well. Like, look at this graph. It's just comes up all the time.
Look at this fucking cat. It's like,
it's just great. I fucking love them so much. I love them so much. But going back to the album as well. So the album is a story about a potential suicide attempt, right? So obviously that's a story for you to tell. It's not for me to tell. So give us as much detail as you feel comfortable in the scenario. So like,
open book, man.
Yeah, go for it. So what's the story behind it?
So you're basically, the story of the record is it's a big circle because you're on top of a bridge. You're wanting to commit. You're like listening to the sound of the wind blowing. You're up there. You've had a bit of drink. You're like, it's time to leave, type of thing. And then the police car pull you over, and you record everything. And then you're like, well, why am I in this situation? And you're like flashing back on everything that's happened in your life, and it's every chapter of your life of why you're in that position. And then obviously at the end of the record, you decide not to do it and to carry on. But then you hear the police car pull up, and it turns up it's all this massive story that's in your head, type of thing. And in real time, when the record ends, you hear the police car come and pick you up, and then the beginning of the record starts with the police car, so it's a big circle.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's ultimately about being on top of a bridge, reflecting on your life. Why am I in this position? Why do I want to leave? Here's why. Da 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 da. Chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4. And the prologue does a good, I think it does, and the epilogue do a very good job of laying out the themes. And then all the chapters in the middle are like the main kind of songs.
Yeah.
Of like why you're in that position.
Yeah. Do you want to explain why you were in that position? Is that something you feel like?
Yeah, I mean, I'll talk about it. I mean, it was...
Like I said, you give as much detail as you want, man.
Well,
There's
I mean,
no
I
pressure.
think the record speaks for itself. Every lyric on there, I didn't hold anything back. So, like, everything I say on every song is the reason that I was in there. So, like, with Spoiled Brat Syndrome, I talk about, like, all of these situations with, like, kind of, like, mental health services in the Northeast and, like, all of that sort of thing. And then obviously in the prologue it's like about like police and stuff. Then Ofsted's about like the school system and going through school and having an abusive teacher and many abusive teachers, but like to be more about like when you were a young kid. And mad, I pulled out an old photo album the other week, and because I was like moving house, and I seen pictures of me from when I was a kid during that time, and it's like there's no light in my eyes, and it's like it's dark to look at. It's like, whoa. And my mom was like crying because she's like, oh, looking at these photos of me when I was like 5 years old and going through all of this stuff, which is just crazy to think about. And then obviously La Guitarra, talking about what I talked about there, and yeah, just every song, and best friends becoming drug addicts and best friend betraying me and like kind of being depressed and suicidal when I was in secondary school. And it's like, it's the whole story, and it all goes into each other, and then at the end you leave the album with a big poem that basically sums up everything. And yeah, because the album ultimately, there's a thing you were saying about lyrics earlier on, there's a line where I'm like, this album was the cards I was dealt, and too long a pawn to those cards I've knelt. And I remember when I came up with that, I was like, oh, that's really cool. And I think the whole thing is about being a pawn to your cards, and kind of like, and obviously the tarot cards being the cards that I was dealt, so it has that like triple entendre type thing. But
nice.
Yeah, that was basically it.
Did it ever feel too personal, nearly to release, or was it?
I had that. I did have that. Like as it was coming out, I was like, oh my god, because a lot of people that I were knowing, obviously I was doing vocal covers and all of this and all of that. And it's like, oh, did Timmy's releasing his first album? I'm like, you aren't really ready for this, because I feel like a lot of what a lot of people were expecting is not what it was. It was like this big. Every song's like 7 minutes. It's deeply personal. It's like not traditional song structures. There's like a lack of choruses, and there's catchy parts too, but like it's its own thing, and it's hard to like pinpoint what the record sounds like. I mean, you could compare it to maybe like The Wall or something, is maybe like one of the comparisons you could make, or like something like that.
It's a very because I don't think I've interviewed many people who are in bands and things like that. One of my best friends is in a band and stuff like that, and I've done a few music videos for him and stuff, but like when I listen to some artists, like, because I get sent people's things sometimes, like, oh, like, follow me, I'm doing this, whatever, and I'm like, that's a cool song. But then when I went through and listened to your album, and I was just like, like, part of me was like, whoa, because it's just, it hits you with everything at once, and then like every song is different. You're not you follow through the story, but it's like it's almost, it's not, I don't want to say jarring, but there's that level of like, oh, here's where we are now. Like,
it's left turns. It's all left turns. It's what I would describe it as, an album that's all left turns. That because it's all left turns, it works with itself.
Because it takes you around in that circle.
Exactly. And then obviously you'd be talking about like songs that about like being bullied, and songs about this and songs about that, and then it's like, it lays out the whole thing. So it's like, you read all the lyrics and listen to the album, you know why I was in the position that I was in. And I think I did a really good job of telling that story.
I think so too, man. I absolutely agree.
I appreciate it. I like it.
Well, obviously, as someone else who puts out media out there, obviously not on that deeply as personal level, but obviously I get seen, you get seen. The idea of how people perceive you and how you look, like, when people listen to this album, because I'm hoping people are watching this who've never heard it yet and go away and listen to it. What do you hope they see with you, and what do you hope they understand?
I don't know. I don't think there's any expectations. I think it's an experience, and you listen to it and it makes you feel the way that it feels. Like, I've had people tell me they listen to the record and then kind of slowly close their laptop after, and a girl from Germany described it as it felt like something you shouldn't be listening to. It felt like it was like, especially with a lot of the things with like the letters and the phone calls and like the police samples and that, it's just said like it genuinely felt like you were invading someone's privacy, which I think is like a good way of kind of putting it.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, but you might see something in yourself with it. It might be something you don't relate to at all, but it's interesting to hear someone who's told that story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I do.
I mean, if you hate schools and hate police corruption and you think teachers are the worst people in the world, you'll love the record.
Absolutely. But one thing that's really impressive as well about it is, and I sound like I'm just proper like jerking off over this album, that's what it sounds like at the minute, but I am. And the vocal styles on it. So we've got like screaming, you've got the harmonies, you've got some rap in there, like, and even what I would describe as like a powerful monologue. So, obviously we've talked about the vocal ranges that you love to do and the coaches and the way people are viewing vocal things at the minute. You're very outspoken about the way people choose to sing these days.
Because it's like people are so concerned about having good technique and it doesn't exist. It's a personal thing, and what works for someone might not work for someone else, and they've taken a few things from opera and think, oh, well, there's this open throat technique in mixed voice, and if you're not doing it like this, it's wrong, and you're going to damage your voice, and you need to buy my $3,000 course. And it's like, shut the fuck up, just sing the song. Most of your favorite singers anyways didn't take any vocal lessons. Like, do you think Michael Jackson and Freddie Mercury were there, like, learning scales and runs? And it's like, no, they just sung and they pushed themselves. I mean, Freddie Mercury's best vocal performances were when he was dying of AIDS and he was drunk. You know what I mean? It's like, and that's the shit that all of these singers are like saying, which is perfect technique, and it's like, it probably isn't. And perfect technique doesn't exist anyways, because technique is just a lie. It's just to sell you something. And I mean, I think the internet really ruined, especially metal. Like, have you seen like the videos of people like, this is how you're supposed to scream, and if you scream like Corey Taylor on the first Slipknot album, you're going to destroy your voice? I'm like, the only reason Corey Taylor destroyed his voice on Iowa and those records is because he was an alcoholic and he was dehydrated. If you do any physical activity whilst being severely dehydrated and not allowing yourself to recover, it's going to do damage. For example, sprinting. If you sprint like professionally, people think, oh wow, that's healthy, that's sprinting, it's not considered dangerous. If you sprint all day, every day, 24 hours a day, and you don't recover, you're gonna fuck your joints up, right? It's the same thing with vocals. That's the analogy that I would use. But then when I say this on threads, people send me death threats being like, well, you wreck your voice then and you scream like Corey Taylor and see where you end up. And I'm like, yeah, and I will, and I'm fine. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, man.
Yeah, my answer for it was so good that people thought I had like AI generated the prompt.
You're like ChatGPT.
Yeah, and I was like in my car, I'd just gotten back from the gym, and I was like, that's a thought, and I just went on this tangent, and everyone's like, yeah, you used AI. I'm like, no, I didn't, but I guess it's a compliment.
Yeah, man. It's interesting to hear that you've got such a vocal range, man, and that you just don't. But the fact is that you didn't train to do it. You just were like, I can do this.
Exactly. It was mentality. I mean, I did train, but it's like going to the gym and learning how to bench press 125 kilograms.
Yes,
right?
It takes time.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like you build up the weight. It's like your muscles get bigger and bigger, and you get stronger and stronger, and that's the way I think of it. I think of it more like athletics. I think belting high notes is athletics rather than like techniques, if you know what I mean.
No, man, I like it. So, on terms of, because I know we spoke a little bit earlier about the double-edged sword of being a creative person. Because I've personally seen the cost of trying to be something that is maybe seen as a little bit out there, like putting yourself out there online, especially. I've seen the cost of the toll it takes on people, like friends disagree or friends see it, family see it, they question it.
Yeah.
Like, have you experienced any drawbacks or issues to being as driven as you are? Like, has that ever affected anything?
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't relate to it. You kind of realize that like people don't get it, and it's like you kind of judge people because they're not like that, and then it's kind of you speak to people and they question everything about everything that you're doing. It's like, well, how are you going to do this and how are you going to do that? And I'm like, well, if I wanted to like take your advice, then I'll end up exactly like you, and you can't take advice off people you don't want to be like. Yeah, that's like insane. But yeah, man.
Because what, do you say it's like cost you anything? Yeah, or do you think you sort of like? I know, obviously. Yeah, I wouldn't say you're early in your journey, but I would say like
I'm 24.
Yeah,
so.
But like I'm more meant in terms of the musical journey of it. But like obviously, like to put yourself out there, to be a bit of a rebel to tell those personal stories,
Yeah.
you know, can come with a bit of like people sort of like you saying they don't relate as much, and that pushes you away from these people a little bit.
I'm not sure, to be honest. I've never thought about it.
No,
I guess like how do I answer that? Yeah, I just think people just don't get it, and it's like that's on them. I think life is a personal experience and a personal journey.
Yeah.
So I hope that answers the question.
No,
it
does.
No,
No, it's fine, man. Because I obviously like people when I first started doing this and I started with like a page on Facebook and I just post like quotes and stuff like that, and people are like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And like at first it's always, "What the fuck are you doing?" And then it's like that made a little bit of sense, but I don't feel like it's you. And then you get people that go, actually, I really like that. And then these random people come out the woodwork and support you, but it's never the ones that you expect to support you straight up. But like,
have you had the thing of like people supporting you and then you do a little too well and they stop supporting you and they start not replying to messages?
Well, I lost a lot of people that I was friends with from school. Like, I did nothing to them. It was just like they just didn't seem to like who I was becoming. And whether or not back then, I mean, I don't really remember ever being an arsehole to them, but I think just the things that I would say were slightly triggering to people, like, because if you're trying to grow, you have to accept that it's going to trigger you, that advice is going to trigger you. Like, exactly. if I don't know, if Slash came up to you and he was like, "Timmy, this sucks, you should do this instead," like, that's going to trigger you, but
that would be heartbreak.
But you trust his judgment. You'd be like, you know what, like, I need to be able to accept this.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like, so I think,
but it's important everyone that's watching, do not take advice off people you don't want to be like.
Yeah, and don't
only take advice off people you want to be like, and you'll find the people you actually want to be like are the ones that want you to make your own choices. Because I think taking advice, and this is a little bit of a tangent, but I think taking advice off people as a whole is a terrible idea, because you learn from your own experiences. So if you have a situation and you take this person's advice and then you get to that next level, you shouldn't have been at that next level because it didn't come from you. So when you're at that next obstacle, you got there through taking someone's advice, you're going to have to ask for advice again, and then that might be the wrong thing, you go down a couple of pegs. Do what you want to do, take the lesson from what you want to do, and keep climbing.
Yeah, it's better to
be wrong about something and get the lesson from it than being right, but it's something that someone else said you should do.
Yeah, it's better to. I always think it's better to not take something personal from someone you're not personal with. I think if you're gonna take advice, if you're gonna take advice from people, make sure it's a fucking person that knows what they're talking about. Because like, as much as we love parents, as much as I mean, I don't know what everyone's relationships are with parents. Some people have a strained one, whatever. But I've got a good relationship with my parents.
Yeah.
But if one of them tried to tell me about how to do a podcast properly, how to interview, I'd be like, "Thank you."
Yeah.
But no.
I always do that.
Yeah. I've got a good friend called Luca, and he was one of my original mentors. He helped me a lot in life. And he always used to be like, just when someone says something, just smile and nod back.
Yeah,
smile. Yeah, and wave. Is it the penguins of Madagascar? Smile and wave, boy. Smile and wave. Yeah.
Do you mind if I quickly run to the toilet?
Yeah, go for it, man. We'll take a quick pause.
Right.
Go for it. Yeah, man. Go for it.
Drinking these.
Jeez. So we're back after a lovely piss break. So there's one thing that we mentioned actually, and it is in my questions, and I totally forgot about it. So it's that sense of wanting to be seen more than ever, right?
Okay.
And that sort of social media side of life is, you know, and I'm guilty of it. I'm sure you're guilty of it, of like looking at the likes, looking at the comments, looking at the engagement of it. And I'm like, but it's not like, as a musician, it's not like it was in the 80s and 90s. Like, you either made it or you fucking didn't. Now we've got this weird mid-level of fame. It's like you're either not famous or you are. And now we've got this middle level of social media influencer thing. Do you think social media is helping the modern musician, or do you think it's making it really, really like 10 times harder to deal with?
I think it's both. I honestly think it's both yin and yang type thing. Like, it's good because it gives everyone a platform and it gives everyone a swinging chance to... Everyone has a supercomputer in their pocket and they can film things and release it for free, and people engage with it and something might go viral. A lot of viral videos now are just orchestrated anyways.
Yeah.
But then also it's the fact that it's like a very saturated market and everyone's doing it, and it's like you need to find a way to stand out. I would maybe edge that it's better than ever because, and like the music industry being better than ever because there's like no gatekeeping anymore, and everyone has a home studio, everyone has an iPhone, everyone can film content and show it to the world, and we're more connected than ever. Obviously there's the consequences of that as well, but I would say it's a good thing. I like the fact that I can like go on Instagram and post a video and people in Brazil will see. When would I ever have been able to connect with fans from Brazil and like Indonesia and like all of these kind of places that I've never been to in my life? And I think it's great in that regard, and you can build audiences around the world.
Yeah.
Like, whereas back in the day, it would have been very hard for even like the Beatles to have built an audience in Brazil, because they would have to go there and play shows and stuff. Whereas I can film myself on an iPhone, which is crazy.
Yeah. When you break it down, it isn't.
Yeah,
it's actually have
nuts.
cameras and microphones.
And I also think it's a little bit of a mirror. I think if your stuff isn't doing well, and maybe just people aren't connecting with it, and maybe you need to, like we were talking about earlier on, find something that is artistically fulfilling for you and put that out there, and then that might be the thing that people connect with.
Yeah.
And I mean, everybody's fighting for attention, so you have to be some level of just like clickbaiting, don't you?
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's kind of my take on
So
that.
we think it's good. Is there any part of it that you think's bad for musicians?
Being focused more on creating content than actually making art.
Yeah.
I think that's like a slippery slope of
Art
like
versus content.
And that, I guess that was my thing of like what I've been failing with recently is just like I'm spending more time on my phone than ever, and I'm posting 10 times a day, and I'm like, this is not it, because what I'm posting is just terrible. Just like I'm in the car and I'm like got the song playing in the background, I'm like, go stream this song, and I'm like, would I have like ever listened to a song of anyone that's done that?
Yeah.
Probably not. But then you've got someone like, you know who Ren is?
Yes.
He makes like the best content ever, and he's like doing things, and he's walking around, he's performing these songs, and I'm like, that's more like what I need to do. Obviously got the VHS camera now, so I can do that shit, and that's definitely what I'm going to be doubling down on for the rest of the year, is like making that kind of content and being artsy with it, because I hate not being artistic. I hate a lot of the stuff that I've been doing recently, because I'm like, this is just whack.
Would you become less of an artist, more of a marketer? Which is the worst part.
Totally. And marketing's cool, and I love marketing, and I think a lot of the really famous people are like marketing geniuses. Like, I mean, Kris Jenner is a marketing genius.
I fucking love Kris Jenner.
Kris Jenner is a genius when it comes to like the way she's marketed her entire family, the way she's orchestrated everything, the way like she had control over all the media and that.
She's what Joe Jackson wishes he was. That's what he tried to be.
Yeah, but like that stuff is marketing's great, but it's like it's a personal thing, and what works for one person might not work for another. Like what worked for Kanye West isn't necessarily gonna be what works for, I don't know, John the Baptist. You know what I mean? It's like
Kanye is a weird one, isn't it though? Because I really liked a lot of Kanye stuff. You know, like Power's a great one. Black Skinhead's a fucking
that
tune.
record's sick.
But like, and then now he's like, I'm a Jew. I hate Jews and I'm a Nazi. I was like, all right, okay, cool. Like, no, I'm not. I can't do that anymore. I'm sorry.
I think a lot of people clocked out with a lot of
his
stuff that Kanye's saying. I mean, I don't know a lot about it, to be honest, but like those made some fantastic records. Like,
yeah, he was a genius, but I think he's kind of lost that a little bit, to be honest. But I'm also curious, why do you think, as a going on a deep human level, why do you think we want to be seen so badly? Because me and you have talked there about we were never the popular kids in school.
Yeah,
we didn't get that, and then finally getting it, we relish in it. But what do you think it is about us as a society now that we want to be seen so badly?
I just think everyone's craving attention. I mean, look at TikTok. I think TikTok, what's bad about that platform is it really does just bring out the self-indulgent side of everyone, where everyone's just like wants to be a content creator, and they don't really provide any value. They're not like an artist or an athlete or like something. It's just literally people who just want to be famous for the sake of being famous, and it's like you realize how many people just want that, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes fame, I think there's a good level of fame that you'd want to be, where maybe like you get a lot of opportunities, but like you can walk down the street and it doesn't feel like people are going to be hounding you. That level of fame is good, where like maybe it's like you're known for your voice more than like your face, which is pretty cool. Like that would go like. I mean, you've had so many different looks over the years. To be fair, like someone will be like, "Is that Timmy?" No, he's got blue hair. He's got blonde hair.
Yeah. I'm trying to be more consistent branding wise. I'm really like being like I need to stick to like a particular look.
Well, because obviously we've called you just Timmy, right? Which is obviously obviously we agreed that was just the name we were going to stick with. Obviously, it is your name.
It is my name too, but it is like my artist name. I love the fact that people did that. That's why it's
like who have we got? We got like Slash is not as real, but we've got like Adele, Beyonce,
Bjork,
Seal, Bjork. Yeah, we've got fucking. I mean, Prince, I suppose, one name.
Yeah,
but,
exactly. It's like it's cool if you can be known by just your first name. And no one took Timmy. I don't know why no one took it. Guess it's just like was meant for me type of thing.
Do you listen to Timmy? You listen to Timmy's
but it's like if you're in a bar and someone's like, "Oh yeah, listen to the new Timmy record," it's like everyone knows it's me because no one else has it.
What's cool about the name Timmy is it could go anywhere. It could be pop, it could be rock, it could be fucking rap, it could be anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Should we go with like little Timmy and stuff like that?
Little Timmy.
Like Little Wayne, Little
Should
Chris.
be, should be little Chris.
Just add that little on the front or something like yeah, nice. Or like, are you going to become a symbol at some point like Prince?
Oh, I'd love to. It'd be like
you're in your room like drawing out symbols of what my name could be.
Be a triangle or something. What's up, Mr. Maker? We are the shapes. I'm a
fucking hell.
Like,
Jesus. That's a fucking
That's
throwback.
I want a sample. Oh yeah, I'm a rectangle. That could be a hard like hip hop song. That.
Are you going to make the CBBS album? That we didn't know we
But fuck yeah, I think everyone wants that from me. That's the next direction, guys. Is straight up CBBS.
Well, you know you've made it when you're reading the CBBS bedtime stories as well.
Like, imagine me with me butterfly throat tattoo and that, and I'm like,
100%. If Tom Hardy can be on there, why
hell yeah, I love Tom Hardy. He's such a G.
Tom Hardy, yeah. But you've got strong opinions on the UK music scene as well as what we would call toxic fan bases. So which one of those do you want to tackle first?
Well, I mean, I just think I don't think people are real in the UK, to be honest. And I mean that I know, especially the Northeast prides itself on being all like, yeah, we support like struggle. No, you don't. You fucking don't. Like, I could have something like popping off and something doing really well, and like a lot of press outlets just ignore you, to be honest. So it's like, yeah, I think it's all full of shit, like BBC introducing and all that. It's all a bunch of crap. I get more listeners than them anyways. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
What about the toxic fan base side of things? Because obviously we talk about like Bring Me the Horizon stuff on the phone. So
God, Bring Me the Horizon fan base are fucking awful. I
went to their gig like a while back, and like they stopped the show like 5 times because people were just being arseholes in the audience. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, I cover Doomed, and I've never gotten so much hate in my life, and it's funny because you contrast it with like Earth Song. I probably sound closer to Ollie Sykes than I do to Michael Jackson, yet Michael Jackson's fan base fucking love me. But then I did Doomed, and everyone was just like fucking so angry, and like people just death threats and like just
which is crazy for covering a song. It's
it's crazy the level of hate that I got. But then I always thought like, well, Bring Me the Horizon did that record, Ammo, and songs like Why You Gotta Kick Me When I'm Down, Ollie directly like talked about the fan base being like so toxic and all of that sort of thing. So at least the band acknowledge it, but like, God, a lot Bring Me the Horizon fans are fucking wrong.
I'm always a little bit skeptical of Swifties as well.
Yeah,
they could go either way.
Yeah, but everyone, I feel like everyone expects that with Taylor Swift's audience, though. People don't really expect that with like Bring Me the Horizons.
No,
in like rock world. But then I like compare it to like Avenged Sevenfold, whose audience are like just cool South American people.
Yeah,
that also have been nothing but nice to me. Like, and a lot of our music kind of lives in a similar genre. So
I went to the When We Were Young festival in Vegas last year, right?
Oh, sick!
And one of the best sort of crowd experiences was because there was loads of different bands, and one band that I didn't expect to like have such a like, you know, when they just changed the vibe of the audience, was The Offspring.
Okay.
And they brought out like the original Pretty Fly guy, like he came on stage and did the dance, but everyone's just mood was just everyone's like hugging each other and living their best life with The Offspring on. I was like, that was such a wild change from the band beforehand. Like it was mad how a band can. Yeah. I guess it's the energy they put out to their audience, like that really changes it. But like I said about like Swifties and stuff, like no hate to the Swifties. I like a few Taylor Swift songs, but some of you take it a little bit too far. So that's my tale. That fan base. I
did like some of Taylor Swift's like radio songs in like the 2010s. I thought like Trouble was always really cool. Do you remember like the goat meme with that, where it was like,
the turtle as well was the best one. I was like,
I love that. I fucking love that song. I think that song is fantastic.
The 10-minute version of All Too Well is also a fucking banger as well.
Right.
That's a fucking like another one that like I didn't expect to like. That one that goes on for ages. But that's
a lot of Taylor Swift's music. I mean, a lot of like her core audience and people that I've spoken to that like I'm friends with that like Taylor Swift, they like a lot of our early country stuff. But I think she nailed the pop thing in the 2010s. I think she had some of the really like good songs in that era. Not really too aware of what she's doing these days. I mean, she's as famous as ever. I seen she was like doing something with Toy Story 5. But I don't know much about that.
She's in an insane level of fame, and I watched a documentary on her actually because I was like, I'm getting mixed messages about it, and I always like to make my own opinion. So I watched a documentary a few years ago, and I was like, actually, you know what? Sound like you did have a lot of money when you were growing up, Taylor. That's fine, but you know, you've done something amazing with it, and you've done your own
thing. The only thing I'll say about Taylor Swift is I don't like artists suing other artists when they think something sounds a little bit too inspired by them. And
Yeah, I think it's a little bit bitter as well.
That's all
Yeah.
I'll say about that, but people will know.
Yeah, I'm like what was the one with Miley Cyrus? She had a big thing with, was it Flowers that she did, and it was Bruno Mars or something was trying to sue her for like it was like a flip because I think someone said that the song of Grenade or whatever it was like oh no, it wasn't Grenade. It was one of Bruno Mars' songs that she basically flipped it to the lyrics of Flowers, and he was trying to sue or something like that. I was like, why?
You can't own, like, I mean, Ed Sheeran said it best. You can't own like a chord progression and stuff. And it's like, I mean, I guess I'll just say it. The whole Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodrigo thing, I just thought it was like laughable. I'm like, you're a billionaire and you're like suing an artist that's popping off because she harmonized some shouts. I'm like, it's so fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
like, how can you own harmonized shouts?
Yeah.
It's like, what?
I think eventually people are going to start copyrighting and trying to own everything to the point where you can't do anything anymore.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm glad Ed Sheeran won his case, because it was like you can't own these sort of things, and it's like, yeah,
it is crazy, man. But what is sort of, obviously now that you've got this album done, it took 4 years to make it. You're obviously very, very fucking proud of it, and you should be, mate.
I'm just glad that I'm not working on it anymore. To be honest, it's kind of like if I'm feeling down, I'm like, I could be working on that record still.
So in terms of like the music progression next, what can we expect from
I got something.
Okay.
I got something.
Is there anything you can talk? Yeah. Anything you can talk?
I mean, I guess I could say that aesthetic wise and genre wise, I'm doubling down on a lot of new metal. Like very like my sound going forward is a lot of the more artsy kind of like 90s alt rock meets like early 2000s new metal.
What are we talking about? Limp Bizkit?
Like kind of like Linkin Park-y, kind of like Avenged Sevenfold-y, kind of like early Slipknot type of thing, but mixed with like Bjork and Radiohead. I'd say is like the sound that I'm going for. It's like, do I give this a... I'm doing a cover of something. I'm doing a studio cover of a song that was quite big in the kind of like early 2000s for a really well-known band, and I don't want to say what it is, but like it's sick.
I'm gonna find out off air, and I'm not gonna tell fucking one of you. That's great. But
and it kind of relates a lot to the themes that I'm talking about of like radio stations gatekeeping and stuff, and that's the lyrical content which I always connected to, and I can do this guy's style of rap and scream really well. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Which is interesting, because when I listened to the album, I was like, oh damn, you fucking hit the range. And like you said, people will expect that it's not all you, but it is all you.
Yeah, every vocal is mine, and I can basically do everything. So
nice, I love it. So mate, I have a funny question to throw in as well. Which we spoke about on the phone. I was like, do I put this in? Should old people reset their driving tests?
Yes.
Because I think when we were on the phone, we were like, we just went on a fucking tirade about this as well, didn't we?
Yeah, they should. I think when you hit like the age of like 65, you should have to have reaction tests every year, and it's like think fast and all that type of shit, because it's like, how many times have you like almost hit an old lady in the car?
So many times.
Like in like Aldi car park, like because they just don't check their mirrors, and
it's roundabouts.
Probably didn't fucking have mirrors in their days. You know, what
they're
I mean?
still on hand signals out the window.
It's
and
like
shit.
why don't old people have black boxes? It's like if a new driver, which understandable, you've probably got a big ego, you're a new driver on that.
Yeah.
If you've got a black box and someone's 65 who doesn't have your reaction times and is like very hazardous, they should have a black box.
I used to think it was fine for old people to be that, right? Until there's a roundabout out there, you probably came down it, right? It's a very small roundabout, but I was coming around and I had like food for people, like for the office and stuff like that. It was like chicken and rice boxes kind of thing. And she just pulled out on me from the roundabout. She had loads of time as I was coming around. She pulled out, I slammed the brake on, fucking rice everywhere. I mean, I was like this close to her. And I was like, what the I was like, but you didn't even look. Like, she just drove. I was like, what the fuck? That was the first time I ever tooted someone as well. I was like, but I just thought it was really funny when we got onto it.
Probably didn't fucking hear you either.
No, she did, because I was like an inch from a fucking glass, and I was like, fucking... But yeah, nice, man. But listen, mate, I think it's been a fantastic... I've loved this. I think it's been funny.
It's been good.
I think it's been deep as well. Obviously, you said that you had a lot of mental notes and stuff like that. Is there anything that you want to bring up at the end here that we maybe didn't touch on?
Yeah, we could do. Could I get a monster?
Yeah, so we've got to create a monster. Also, bring back Purple Monster as well.
Yeah, oh my god, right. Monster Energy wanted like...
pitch, man.
What could we say that'll get us clipped? Thank you very much. For Monster Energy, like, to see it, or someone from the Monster team, like, the Purple Monster, why did they get rid of it? Like, the white one's decent, but the purple one tasted like purple. And it was like such a big part of me as like a 17-year-old going to college with me purple mark. Oh, it's so good.
When did they get rid of it?
I don't know.
What flavor?
It just
What flavor? What
disappeared.
flavor was it? Because I don't
It's
drink
like-
energy drinks.
It
So
was purple. It just tasted
purple.
like purple, mate. It was fucking class.
just tasted like
Ultraviolet was the official name of it.
okay. It's worrying when you can't describe the taste of something. Though.
Yes.
I was like concerned of what's in it.
Foreign chemicals.
Yeah, it's just all these chemicals, but they make me feel buzzed. I love it.
Man. But the purple monster, they need to bring that shit back. Like,
Is there anything else other than the Monster
should I
Spark?
grab my phone and should I go through and like think?
Oh,
of
did
some-
you have your notes on there?
Yeah,
as well?
I've wrote some.
I mean, I'm good. I got one last question for you.
Yeah.
But if you want to get your phone and bring something
could
else,
do.
it's entirely up to you.
We
yeah.
could do.
Yeah. Carla, can you just pass this? Or is it just on the desk? Sick man.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
wrap up with something from yourself.
Let's go through iPhone notes and be like, let's talk about that.
Yeah, man. We got time. We got a bit of time left.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, man.
Nice,
Right, what were you gonna say?
I'm not gonna ask you the last question until you've done yours. So go through yours first. We'll find it.
I'm trying to think. Is there any kind of Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about that.
Cool, yeah, go.
What do you think of the UK school system?
The school system.
Yeah,
I
because
think
I think it's child abuse.
that's close. That's well. I mean, I don't know where I'd class it as child abuse, but it's been a long time. I mean, what year did you leave school?
I left school in 2018.
So I left in 2012, and I went straight to
Yeah.
college for 2 years, and it was wank. Wouldn't ever do
Yeah.
it again. But I do think I have mixed opinions because I do think the school system teaches you to a degree to do the basics of life, but not the essential basics. It teaches you the best thing you get from school is socializing. I think that's the best thing. I think to be able to find your place in the world and also discover what you don't like as well is very big on socializing.
Yeah.
I feel like if you were raised on a farm with 3 other people or something like that, it'd be a bit more difficult.
True.
I don't think everyone has the best. I'm not saying it's the best social
Yeah.
life, but I think it introduces you to be able to be social and to understand that.
But like the teachers abusing their power and stuff, I just
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
if you're gonna be in a position of power and
Yeah.
and teach and mentor, you
Yeah.
have to
a
support.
lot of these people are just failed in their industries as well, especially in arts teachers. Like
I think you've
fucking
gotta-
hell,
I think you-
school music teachers, fucking
Do you know what my music in school was
Yeah.
shit because I sat next to a girl who played keyboard.
right.
So it was like
so she was like fucking good.
she was fucking she just took over the keyboard for all my music lessons, so I didn't learn shit to be fair. But I think like things like
Drama teachers are just failed actors and
all our drama teachers run away with younger students, man.
yeah,
They're
but
all
that's
fucking-
what I'm saying.
They're all
It's
fucking
like,
nonsense. It was
in my
weird.
school, it was like 3 fucking pedo teachers, and
There's
it's
always a
like,
pedo teacher.
And there was like, so, but mine had like a lot, and then it was like the French teacher would start shagging the history teacher, and it's like everyone's just like cheating on everyone, and I'm like, this isn't a good environment for a teenager.
The hardest thing is to ever see them as humans.
I
because-
don't. I see them pieces of dirt, to be honest, man.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
fucking hate
hard.
them
It's
all.
hard to. I think to be a teacher, you've got to. It's one of those professions that I don't think people realize you've got to dedicate your life to.
Yeah.
Because you are in a position to teach the next generation of kids that you have to want to do that. You can't just go, look, being a teacher looks fun.
Yeah.
So you've got to be willing. There was a few teachers in our school that would go above and beyond for their students. They were the fucking top tier people. They
Yeah.
were solid fucking
And
human
some
beings.
do, but it's not enough. And it's like, my experience was like 90% of them were bad. So it's like, I can't turn around and say teachers are good because I just think they're bad people. And I've always said that I won't have kids unless I'm in a position of wealth of where I can cherry pick.
You know,
the-
homeschool it or
yeah,
private
only-
school it?
It would depend. Do I know all of these teachers on a personal basis? Do I know everything about their personal lives? Because I don't want my like kid being spewed with bullshit in their like, especially in primary school, like in their developmental years, like they're hearing all of this shit and being influenced by all this stuff that I don't agree with.
I think my first memory of like a detention was year 5, right? Mm-hmm. And I had a good friend of mine. I mean, he was just a messy dude in general, but heart of gold. And do you remember? I'm guessing you had these. I'm not that old. Trays under the desk.
Yeah.
With all the books and stuff.
Yeah.
So he used to sharpen his fucking pencil in the tray and just have loads of it. And the teacher found it, and instead of just asking him to take it, she like flung it out all over the floor, and there's just all this fucking shred in that. And obviously she was like telling him to pick it up and that. And I was like, that's cruel. So I got out of my seat and I went to fucking do it as well. And she was like, don't help him, and turned her back, and I went like that because I was fucking rebellious year 5. Stuck my finger up, and I got ratted on for doing it, and that was my first detention. And I didn't feel bad about getting detention because I was like, I fucking helped a mate out there. I was like, that's unnecessary to do.
Yeah.
And we were saying earlier about a teacher that held my artwork up and embarrassed me in front of the class.
Yeah.
Those sorts of teachers, no, I don't agree, but I do think
they're all losers as
there's
well.
some that need to be. If you're in a position of power, you have to.
Yeah.
You can't abuse it, and you have to be willing to listen to the students. But I also think the school system was your actual question.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would have loved to have learned more about how the world works. I'd have loved to have been taught about money. Money especially would have been so handy to fucking learn back then.
School could be good, but it's not. And it's like, I just think it just creates toxic environments. And it's like, I know with my experiences of being in primary school and secondary school, like, you have the odd good teacher.
Yeah.
But it took so many years for my brain to actually be able to, like, get out of that. And I still find myself in, like, everyday life being in some sort of thing of, like, why do I think like this? And I'm like, oh, that's, like, from when I was in fucking year 9 at school and this thing happened.
Yeah,
and there's, like, so many times like that. And I'm just like, fuck me. It's like, do I really want to, like, have a kid and, like, fucking put them in a school system? Like, especially with the state of the world right now, it's like, fuck me. I'm like, they're here against their will for, like, 90 years or something. And it's like...
Wasn't there, like, a thing in America where she was, like, suing her parents for being born? It's like, it's a bit far.
Honestly, fair enough. Like, but it is like, you, as a parent, you're choosing to put your kid here, and it's like, do you really want to fucking do that?
Yeah, I think you gotta, if you're gonna be a parent, you gotta be willing to put them in a position.
I think
where...
a lot of people who haven't had kids have thought more about it than the people that have.
I do sometimes genuinely think that there's some people that, like at the position I'm in at the minute, I'm not in a position to be a good parent, so I don't want to be a parent right now because, and I'm like, but I think there's some people that do. You will just get those people that just have kids, and they you know for a fact they're not in a position to do it. And it's harsh to say, but it does exist, you know.
Some like 15-year-old in school fucking goes out and has a kid, and it's
we
like,
all had one of those.
Yeah, no, I think it's irresponsible and reckless, to be honest. And I mean, if fucking teenage parents want to fucking be leaving me hate and my messages, do it. I think it's wrong. I think you obviously back in the day it was normal, but you're not in a position of where, like...
The world's not built for that.
Yeah,
now.
It's like you're not in a position of where you can actually pass on anything meaningful in life because it's like you just don't have the life experience, and then it becomes like a vicious cycle. And I mean, I guess like a lot of young parents, then their kids have parents young, and it's like a great grandparent in your 50s, but it's like, or your 40s or something, and it's like, you don't have a stable house, it's like your parents end up raising your own kid, and it's like not even your personal. I just think it's messy, man. It's really messy. It's like, please think twice.
Like I'm always imagining myself as quite an older parent. I think once I've got something that's really stable, I've got a partner that I really trust with the ability to raise a child. It's like, I think one of the most underrated things is really pick who you have a kid with. Really fucking pick.
That's in my notes. That's one of the most important decisions in your life is your partner. I think that is the the most important thing is like, that's why I'm single. And I've not been in a relationship since I was 18 because I'm like, I got a shot at this and I need to fucking get it right. It's like, know what you want. Like, be cynical about it. Be like,
wear 6 condoms every time, just in case.
Triple wrap.
But it is, and it's like, it's something that as I've gotten older and towards obviously in my 30s now, I'm like, it's something that I think about. I'm like, beforehand it was just like, oh, you like someone, you think it'd be good to have. It's like, it's not enough. Like, they're really pretty, like, but looks doesn't raise a kid. Like,
have you seen the movie Obsession?
Not yet, no.
I've heard about it. That kind of.
Have
Have you seen it?
No.
Oh, you haven't seen it.
I've heard it's really good though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to like give it away if you haven't seen it.
It's on the trailer, so he makes a wish that.
Yeah, he wants a girl to fall in love with her, and it's like it's built on lust, and it isn't built on like any fundamentals, and it's like you don't even really know if she liked him back, and then suddenly she's obsessed with him, and it's like.
But it takes it like to
yeah, exactly, and then it's like kind of you're a fantasy of someone not being who someone actually is. Yeah. You know?
Lust and looks don't build a happy home.
Yeah.
They don't.
And lust is hard because especially with social media and you see people on social media and you're fucking lusting and that and it's like what
could be a cunt.
Yeah. And they probably are a cunt. Yeah. In some way, shape or form, and I think that's like what would be your dating advice for people watching? Like what do you think is
I would say in terms of yourself, always have don't sacrifice who you are for that person.
Yeah.
There's a level of compromise, but like if they say it to you, for example, and they said to you, look, like, I really like you, I want to build a family with you, I'd be perfect in every other way, but I don't want you to make music.
Yeah. Totally.
Or they're like, or they start nitpicking your friends and things like that. It's find someone who's very secure, but also who wants to build, I think is the most important thing, who builds with you. So it's like, for yourself, you've got to start doing things that you love, build yourself up, be the person. Don't look for someone to fix you.
Yeah.
Just have someone come along on the journey with you.
Exactly. And I that's basically what I would like say as well. It's like, you can't expect something from someone that you're not yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people are like, I want someone like this and that, and I'm like, but you're not like that. So how can you expect that this person would want to be with you if you're not, if you don't have their values? Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's where lust comes in. I think a lot.
Lust trips men up. Well, us men are.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, because you fucking watch a movie and it's like, oh.
I know.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I've always joked, because obviously I'm quite like, I'm not alternative, but I like alternative music. I like the rock music. I like things I like a lot of dark things like that. And one thing when I was younger was I was always like, and I still do love the look of like, you know, emo chicks, goth chicks kind of thing. Okay. It's like like fishnets, black, and like dark
like stylistic wise.
Yeah, it's just such a nice aesthetic to look at. But then like I would meet these girls and I'm like, you would ruin my life, you know. So I had to be very careful with what sort of area I was going down, you know, like
exactly,
because like my eyes were going that way, but my brain was going, actually this could turn out wrong.
Yeah, it's like, close your eyes. Do I still want to be with this person? Probably not.
Yeah.
And then
also, like, that's nothing against goth chicks. Some of you are absolutely fine.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
a lot of my audience
looks can be deceiving. It's just like, cool, so. But like, it was just like certain demographics you want to sort of like, you know, like we joke about like council estate moms and stuff. Yeah. That's such a meme on TikTok at the minute and stuff like that. Like, but like, totally. It's just be very selective and just be careful.
It's the most important decision you'll ever make. So.
It is to pick someone to have kids with. If you're young and you've got time and you don't want kids, or do what the fuck you want.
Do you think the modern world kind of killed the relationship? Like, think of like how good they had it in like the 60s and the 70s. And I mean, they had their own problems in that eras as well. Yeah. But like divorce rate now is like through the roof and all of that sort of thing. And it's like, do you think? I think it's the phones. I think the phones and like all the apps and like all of that sort of thing. And it's like, it's just changed everything. Like back in the day, you would just date. You would date the person that you met when you were in school, and I'm so jealous of my cousins. Cousin and person who I see as my cousin, but they met when they were 15, and it's like they're like still together and have like a family and that, and I'm like, I'm so jealous. I'm like, and I always ask them, I'm like, how did you do this? And they're like, oh, it just.
Do you know what it is? It's small world versus big world, mate. Yeah. That's what it is. It's like back then, like I mean, even the way we are evolved and wired, we come from like little small tribal villages or whatever. It's like you had I'd say, I don't know, 19 or whatever, you had maybe 15, 16 women in that village that you could go at. That's it. That was your selection for the rest of your life, unless you fucking traveled far and wide, right? Now you've got there's so much you can compare your partner to, or even yourself to, and that'll cripple your self-esteem. It'll change the way you think about your partner. Like, I remember, I haven't been a massive fan of Tate for a while. When he first came out, I agreed with a lot of the stuff he said, and then it just went off the fucking rails. Tate, yeah, it just went off the rails. But there was one thing that I remember he said, and he was like, imagine if like you couldn't look for girls on social media. Imagine if you couldn't just watch your ex-girlfriend on social media. You couldn't replace them on an app. Think how much more effort you would put in. Yeah. Because you couldn't just replace that person in a matter of days and months. And he was like, and the grass is greener where you water it. It's not always greener on the other side. Like that's the lesson that our grandparents they embodied. That they watered what they had. They didn't go looking for the grass is greener on the other side of the fucking fence. They watered what they had. They nurtured it, and they knew the importance of it. Now everything's replaceable. Everything's you can get something better. There's something shinier. It's like. It's a hard world, and the problem is for someone like us in our creative industries to back out of social media means our industry suffers. So we're kind of caught in a horrible little loop.
And I'm sick of spending 6 hours a day on my phone. Like,
Tell me about it, bro.
I must admit.
Tell me about it, man.
But yeah.
Well, listen, man. That was a good deep topic to end it on.
Yeah, man.
But I do have one. Like I said, I do have one question for you, and I ask it to every guest that comes on.
Let's hear it.
And they always answer it differently. So it's quite simply: do you consider yourself a success?
Yeah. I would say so.
Nice, man.
I mean, you can always have more. You can always have less. But I think we're all on our own journey. And I think everything that's happened... If you're still here, that's a success, right? I mean, I could have not been here. I could have fucking killed myself. It's like... And I didn't, and I'm still here. So that's a success in itself.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I've released a record. That's something that's successful. Like, fucking, I got up this morning, had a shower, fucking drove to South Shields. It's like, went Asda, got a crate of Monster. Like, it's success. Success is perspective. You can always want more, and being ambitious that's okay, but look at how far you've came.
Yeah, man. No, I love that. I love that, man.
Yeah, man.
Where can people follow you? Where can people find your album? Where can people support you?
So, all my music is on every streaming service. Actually had a fan on YouTube tell me it wasn't on YouTube Music, and now it is, so it's on that as well. But yeah, Spotify, social media is mostly Instagram. Occasionally go on Threads, but like Threads is just replying to people and making people like, everyone's so serious on Threads that I just come in with the most unserious thing. It's like
just be unhinged as possible.
Someone will be like, "Oh, well, what's the secret of having really good hands?" I'm like, "Dove soap." And just like, fucking, why are you here? Why are you saying this? And
fucking of mice and men, glove full of Vaseline.
Yeah, I was like biting my nails in Dove soap, and she was like sending like GIF memes of like, huh? But yeah, Instagram is definitely my main kind of social media of where like the bulk of everything is.
And you're currently the artist, Timmy. I know you're
changing I need to use it. If anyone wants to give me suggestions for a new username, I'll fucking take it. I need something. Because they won't give us Timmy on my own.
I said Timmy Trauma, but
yeah, it's a bit dark though, isn't it?
It is a lot better.
It's a bit dark.
We called your album Trauma, so
I know, but that's the record, you know. It's like if someone's seen the handle Timmy Trauma, they probably think it would be like a depression session and stuff. And it's
like something dark.
Talking about Bonnie Blue while drinking cans of Monster.
Just call yourself Timmy Bonnie Blues bitch. Something like that, you know.
Jesus Christ,
it's a bit long, isn't it?
Yeah, anyway. Man.
Nice, man. Well, I appreciate you coming down today, mate. It's been a great chat. But as always, guys, go support Timmy on everything. Go check out his album because it's fucking mint.
Thanks,
and follow him on social media as well. But also follow myself at Adam James Proud. Like, share the podcast. There is, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Spotify, whether you're on Amazon, whether you're on Apple, there'll be something to like it, to rate it, whatever. Just please do it. We always ask for 5 stars, no 4 stars, right? Timmy? Always the 5
always
stars.
5. Because
it pushes us to new audiences and just helps the podcast grow. But take care, guys, and we will see you in the very next episode.
Bring back Purple Monster.
Bring back Purple Monster as well. Take care, guys. See you soon.